Diego Comic-Con. My name is Devin Kogan. I'm a senior writer at Entertainment Weekly, and I am so excited to be here at EW's Comic-Con studio with the director and the cast of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Guys, how's it going? You just got off stage.
Yeah,
we did. It's good.
Yeah, we're still kind of, I think, feeling the excitement of Hall H, which is overwhelming.
It's pretty magical. And, you know, Peyton, I'd love to start with you. What was it about, you know, you've been with these characters for such a long time. What was the most important thing for you in telling this new story? What most excited you?
Well, I think we were thrilled to get to do a third Ant-Man movie and do a trilogy, and we knew if we were going to do that, we wanted to do some things differently. We really wanted to take a hard left turn and make a movie that was even more epic, but still progress the story of these family dynamics and everything that's going on between Scott and Hope and Cassie. Cassie, who's now 18 years old, and maybe Scott doesn't quite know how to relate to her as an adult because he lost those 5 years, you know, from the events of Endgame. And we also knew that we wanted to put our heroes up against a very, very formidable opponent. And we were very fortunate. I grew up reading the comics, and I knew the character of Kang the Conqueror, who's one of the big, big, bad characters in the comics. So to be able to put our heroes up against Kang the Conqueror in this movie was a huge thing for us. So we went big, and we also went small.
Absolutely.
That's a great line.
That's a good part.
How many times have you said that? How many times have you
I
said
just
that?
came with that now.
You're our director, our fearless leader.
No way.
For sure. And Paul and Evangeline, you know, you've played these characters for a while now. What were you most excited about, you know, getting to explore, you know, in this particular film with them?
Do you want to go first, or?
Gentlemen first, always.
Well, it's such a fun part to play, and I've loved every time I've got to, you know, going to play Scott. It was going to be fun because I think we knew just the scope of this thing was going to be different. We're going up against Kang, which adds a whole other element. Cassie is now older. There were things that are fun to that we got to explore and got to kind of relive from the first two films, but this was going to be a whole new thing, and it felt like it shooting it. And I think that I know I was certainly excited at the idea of doing that. What about you, Evangeline?
Well, we got introduced to Hope as a pretty capable, kick-ass woman from the get-go, and even her inception story as a superhero, there was none of the sort of fumbling around that you see in a lot of inception stories. She was fully prepared to do anything that was needed, and she always seems to have the answer, and she always seems to be on top of everything. And so I was really, really excited to have an opportunity in this third film where she's gone from a caged-off woman to a woman who has opened her heart 3 separate times, one, her heart to Scott, and then her reparations with her father, and then bringing her mother back from the quantum realm. So she was sort of like the Grinch, like her heart had grown 3 times as big, which makes it 3 times more vulnerable. And so I was really excited to have a chance to show a side of her where she would make mistakes, she would be fragile, and she wouldn't always have the right answer.
Absolutely. And Jonathan, we've seen you in the MCU before, but we see you stepping into as Kang here, and it was just announced that we've got an Avengers film in the works, the Kang Dynasty. What excited you the most about, you know, as we said, stepping into this iconic role?
Well, the role itself, for me, in the comics, it's a dream role for an actor. You know, there's all these variants. You know, you're in drama school, you're reading your books, you're like, oh, I want to act, I want to play these characters, I want to explore things. So that is what hooked me, and then what reeled me in was really, it was at the height of, I guess, at the brink of the pandemic, and we had just a Skype session with some of the producers, and Peyton was there, and I heard the energy and the commitment, and they talked about Paul, and they talked about Evangeline, they talked about Tom Hiddleston, and what this family was going to be like. And as you can see here, I mean, it's just pretty wicked, you know. And so that gave me courage to really go after it and really give it a go. So does that answer the question?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
That's exciting stuff. And, you know, Catherine, we've seen Cassie before, but what can you tell us about, you know, kind of what makes the Cassie of this film, you know, kind of different than, you know, maybe what we've seen before?
Well,
think Cassie's different because we've seen her 5 years later. She hasn't seen her dad in a while. She's a little more grown up, but she's kind of just a mess. She's not really, doesn't know much. She's just like me. She's messing up all the time. So I hope that if you see it, you can relate to that. And she loves her dad. She does. She doesn't admit it, but she loves him. And I think that's at the heart of it. And I hope that people can feel that.
Absolutely. All right, great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me, and congratulations on an amazing Hall H. That's so exciting.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.